it actually produces 2 lights out of it past 5 p.m. So it's automatically set to that, and it'll actually produce, whenever there's motion, it will shine 2 bright LED lights on you to that general darkness of an area. And what that does is we react humanly to a lot of lights. So when someone shines a light up, it's our natural instinct to kind of glance up at it, and then it's like, oh no. And then we typically get the mask pulled up over or the beanie pulled down. The whole goal is we want them to might think to that half a second to like, uh-oh.
Too late.
The little late dance.
Too late. You're mine.
That's hilarious.
One thing I try to always educate our clients on is, we're gone from home quite a bit now. Sometimes people are at home. Now we want to know who's at the front door. And these cameras now, especially that one, you can talk through the camera as well. And that's really important now due to COVID restrictions. Or you can activate a siren if you have a mother-in-law you don't want to have come over.
You can have some fun with that.
No offense against any future mother-in-laws out there. So
can I yell at my dogs to come back to the door so I don't have to go bring them back in.
Yeah, it's like I said, there's just so much in the cameras. I always say, call us because we come out for free. We don't, and we just educate our clients because the number one thing we get the most is, I bought this camera set on Amazon that says HD, and they don't realize that it's the wrong type of cord. Where is it recording to? Is the DVR rewritable? Meaning, you have to fill it up. All these things matter when you're putting this stuff in a home. The most common ones are Ring and Arlo. They're well advertised. Amazon owns both companies.
Yeah.
They're great cameras, but once again, I like something that's constantly powered because whenever you go Wi-Fi, even though these ones are great for indoor, a lot of people use them for outdoor, but I don't like that. I mean, that's just me personally. But what's great about these ones is that their simplicity is easy to put up. I mean, you can literally just slap them up in 15 minutes. What I don't like is if your internet service or something were to go down, those cameras are then no longer in effect. Yeah. So you want to make sure that whatever you were putting in your home, it's for that purpose. Meaning,
I love wireless gear, but when I started looking at cameras,
for sure.
I didn't want wireless because I might get a notification, or I may not know or remember that the batteries go bad after a certain number of years and they need to be charged. I looked at solar and stuff like that. It doesn't look like that stuff lasts very long outside. Something in a case like that is what I ended up with. Speaking of cases, what the hell's that? Is that like the Moby Dick of cameras?
Yeah, so this is kind of like the highest end that we installed. This guy actually has a 20-time motorized zoom on it. I mean, it can reach out there. We actually had a home on Hillcrest, and they wanted to follow the airplanes in to and from. And she's like, I want the best camera you have. And I was like, oh, okay, we can do that for you. And then she decided it's a little too big, so we went down to a smaller PTZ. Now, this is called a PTZ camera. It's pan tilt zoom. And the operator can actually spin this 360 degrees, zoom down. These are good for industrial, Home Depots, Lowe's.
That's good for a casino.
Correct. Yeah. Loss prevention loves these because that way you can actually track the movement of a person of interest if they're showing signs. That's more to my man there to the right side.
Zoom in on them, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, sure. And it's reaching out in parking lots because the whole goal is if we can't get something like a plate or something value, we want to know the description of your clothing because the one of the greatest things about social media is that the moment we post it, it is electrifying because I think he likes that one.
I want one of those on my flagpole.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. I got R2D2, and then you handed Jared C3PO, and then you went straight into the Bearcat and loaded around.
It's crazy because people are like,
heavy.
Why don't you have these hooked up at your home? And I'm like, you know what? I have this guy way here hooked up to my home. It is a fantastic camera. It does what I needed.
The right thing for the right job.
Sure. And it's just back to where you guys, I want to touch a little bit about the technology field. It's when someone tries to zoom in on an image, what you're doing is even say if I have this camera that's recording a 4K and you have a 1080p TV or less, the isolation is not going to match what this recorded. Right. So what we can always do is download this to a flash drive and actually play it on something with a lot better resolution screen. The worst thing we can do is try to zoom in on it because it starts to get pixelated. It doesn't mean your camera's bad. It just means that one of the others doesn't match up.
It's no different than if you have a real SLR camera with real lenses and you're dialing in those real lenses, it's letting everything in, you're getting crisp. When you zoom in with your cell phone, you guys know it gets distorted. The closer you get,
Now distortions.
because it's digital zoom.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Distortions. I have posted countless attempt IDs, and I love our members because they study the pictures.
Yeah, I
They're
love that.
studying. They're looking at facial features and eyes, and that's why we use the scanner group the way that we do, because we have so many. What do you call them? Sleuths.
They're like us. They want to get a fool
Yep.
for it.
Yeah, they want they want to hunt, but you'll get people saying, "Is that a tattoo on the neck? Is that a tattoo on the arm?" And a lot of that's pixelation.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you touched a biggest on what we deal with is we deal with clients all the time. Like, yep, they got a tattoo, and I'm like, no, it's because you're trying to zoom down on that image. And with the camera, if it's not a motorized zoom or if it's not a highly sufficient enough camera, you're just distorting it. So what you think you see is actually the pixelations from the TV that can form into a tattoo, a small one.
It made 5 arm hairs into 6 black pixels, and now you got a tattoo.
Sure.
And it's and I have to admit I've been thrown with pixelation, because they'll send us pictures and we'll play with the picture and we'll try to zoom in and we'll try to figure out, because each store has a different system. I mean, not all the stores run the same system.
Yeah.
So I'll get video sent over, and then I'll try to zoom in on the person, and the guy's got a neck tat, and then someone gives you the ID,
And you're like, this guy
and you're
doesn't have
confirming.
a
It goes, well, he doesn't have a neck tat, but that's him.
his face.
That's
Where'd the neck tat go?
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, so it's a pixelation issue that we're dealing with.
Yeah.